Okay, different setting. We are outside on the porch and it's a beautiful cloudy day, but that's okay. Today I made some notes so I don't forget. I was thinking I'd talk about software. I know that's one of the biggest things that I always was interested in how other writers did. Plus, it's a way to procrastinate. If you're in a stuck spot, it's like, I wonder if another piece of software would help. But in all reality, I've discovered once you find something that works for you most of the time, you probably should stick with it. Okay, so I'll try to keep this in somewhat organized order. No promises. This is me. I'm what you would call, what's the phrase? Stream of consciousness. Stream of consciousness. That's me. I'll think of something and that will make me think of something else, and I'm really bad when I'm talking to people about a topic, and then I'll switch to another topic that particular thing made me think of, but I neglect to tell them, hey, you know, well, that made me think of this, so they just kind of, they scratch their heads. My husband knows me well enough to know that, yeah, I've shifted topics, so anyway, back to what I was saying. What I use for writing software. Now, since I write into the dark, I might have mentioned that before, I'm sure I did on other videos. I write into the dark, also known as pantsing. So I start with it can be different, it just depends. Sometimes I'll start with a one line. I like to do that. Just like opening lines. There's all kinds of websites you can go to or whatever and think of an opening line. And just run with it, which is one of my favorite things to do. Or I know some writers like to use a picture for inspiration. I've yet to do that, but I think it would be a good one. I mean, there's some pictures I've seen that's like there's a story behind there, but I never really dug into it. And then some people just start with a person, a story, a character of somebody they know, and they just use that to form their ideas. And some people just come up with titles. The ways to come up with story ideas and actually write story is as different as people. You can't really group pantsers into one category and outliners into another, because there's all kinds of mix in between. Some people will partially outline or partly outline or only outline just rough sketch, and others will completely not have any outline. The important thing is if you want to write, to just do it and see what works for you. For me, I get really easily bored. It takes a lot, well, it doesn't take much to make me bored, honestly. So writing into the dark kind of copies that feeling of exploring when I read, because that's one of my absolute favorite things to do, is to read a good story. I just love it. I always have. And of course, you know, everybody will tell you if you want to write, you read. Anyway, bottom line is the writing into the dark kind of simulates that feeling for me, and so that's why I like it so much. But I'll have to be honest, sometimes I'll get to a point where I have no idea where the character's going, no idea where the story's going, and so I get frustrated and I get I sidetrack myself, and I think, well, maybe I should try outlining, or just outlining this part. And what it comes down to, and I know this, is procrastination. And the hardest thing to learn, but the most important thing to learn, is how to take your critical voice, stuff it in a corner. Because you do need your critical voice. It's not like you don't. But you don't need it when you're writing. When you're creating, you just don't need it. Stuff it in a corner, throw bricks at it, don't let it come back until you're done. And then you can let it come in when you're editing, but only under a leash. You can't let it go crazy, because if you do, it'll make you throw the whole thing away. Discard it into digital trash can, or, you know, whatever. Another thing is, some people actually, and I think about it, I enjoy it is write by hand. Takes a long time, but there's something about writing by hand that just kind of encourages the creativity. But anyway, backtracking. See, I told you I get all over the place. The software. So the point I was making for all of that is I like to use something called FocusWriter. It's back up. I like to use all FOSS software is what they call it, FOSS. Free, let's see. It's essentially free software. I forget what FOSS stands for. I just learned the other day. I have to look it up. But anyway, what it means is software this you don't have to pay money for, but you can contribute to the developers, people that share their knowledge and their expertise to make something better, which I think we should totally all do. But it keeps people keeps them writing or using the software like LibreOffice or whatever. But anyway, let me scratch that. I'm wandering off topic. Like I was saying, FocusWriter, okay? It has different settings you can do. I like to have like a black background with the green, like the old DOS, I'm dating myself here, the old DOS system text and everything, because it's the least distracting for me and I can only focus on the story rather than the formatting. And that helps also to keep critical voice out. Well, you got a typo, this, that, and the other. If I don't have spell check on, that's another point. Turn off spell check while you're writing. You will thank yourself. And as far as formatting goes, LibreOffice is a really good one. So I know some people use, I think you can do it with Calibre, I'm not sure. A new one I've discovered is readsy.org, which I'm liking so far. I think it's .org. What I like about it, and what FocusWriter doesn't have, which I wish they did, is the ability to, once you get to a certain word count, sometimes to keep track of your characters and who you've talked about or who's done the action. Next is to have like an outline after the fact, because that's a good way to keep, especially like in a novel, which this is, I think this is going to be a novel, because I'm already over 12,000 words in, which is more than what I'm usually doing. I usually do 6, 7, 8 for short stories or less. So anyway, a way to remember what happened where and to keep track of the story. And yeah, I can write it out on the tablet, which I have been doing, but when I'm writing quickly, my handwriting gets really messy. So it would be nice to have a way to have that outline. Now I know you can do it like in LibreOffice, that kind of thing, but all of the little buttons and everything in LibreOffice, they kind of get distracting. Plus you got the white background. I don't know how, I haven't explored how to set it to a black background or something. The bottom line is I need as few distractions as I can, because I distract myself or other things will distract me, so I have to stay focused, is just minimize. So that's why I've been exploring Readsy, because it will let you, I mean, I'll keep writing in FocusWriter, but I'll throw it on the Readsy, kind of like to keep track. Now I know people like Scrivener, but I use a Linux system, and so as far as I know, they don't jive. They haven't created one for Linux. I know some people maybe use it with the Wine, which is a program, if you're not familiar, which will let you run some Microsoft programs on a Linux system, but, or an Ubuntu or whatever. I don't like doing that. But anyway, that's too much of a headache. So that's what I use for the writing software. And if you guys have anything that you use that I've not mentioned here, something different, I'd love to hear it. Just share it in the comments below if you feel like it. And then formatting, I might have mentioned that. Formatting, LibreOffice is really good for that. You can set styles to help you to format according to the guidelines for Amazon or DDD or Smashwords, whichever. And then Calibre is another one that'll help you format. I haven't really monkeyed around with it too much. I've just used LibreOffice, which works good. And then also, while I'm thinking about it, I know on Amazon you can download a template, which can help, you know, because it's formatted the way they'll accept it, which can help when it comes to formatting books. Okay, and then writers, especially nowadays, they need to promote themselves on social media, on their websites and stuff. And so a lot of times you have graphics need. So you can use, if you've got Windows, you can use your Microsoft Paint, I guess, if you like. But there's so many other things out there. Excuse me. Canva.com is a really good one. You can. It's not geared towards writers, but it's got ebook and I think maybe print book. I haven't looked. Imagery or templates that you can use to create your own books. If you're not paying for somebody to do it for you, like on Fiverr or Upwork, but usually Fiverr. And there's also like 99 Designs, I think, which you can get a fairly inexpensive cover made. The other one is Gimp. Gimp has a little bit of a learning curve, but it's kind of like Paint Shop Pro. I would say probably replaces that. That's my understanding of it. And I like Gimp. I'm just enough to be able to get done what I need to get done, and I do not utilize all of the amazing features that it has. So if you like to do a lot of imagery and making your own and stuff like that, that's one to explore. And then Inkscape is more for, like, if you have a cozy mystery, I think would be one genre that would use it, or like a nonfiction maybe, where you would use cartoons, drawings, that kind of thing. Inkscape works really well. It works with vector and raster images too, I believe. And then one I just discovered, which I still have to explore, I'm going to play with it a little bit and probably do a tutorial maybe on it, is BookBrush. Now it is geared specifically for authors, and so it looks like it's going to be it's got good features, and as far as the paid version, I believe is going to be even better than the Canva Pro. Now I just use the free Canva and it seems to work so far, but the more I get into writing more stories and stuff, I'm going to need to expand what I'm doing. As far as video goes, okay, I edit these videos and book trailer videos, which I'm working on using OpenShot Editor. That's a free software, free and open source software. I think that's what FOSS stands for. For the audio, Audacity, I just watched a really good tutorial. Derek, I don't know how you say his last name. It's D-O-E-P-K-E-R, Derek Depker, I think. Anyway, he has a educational course that he's teaching on doing your own audiobooks. He kind of has a 10,000 foot view on the process a little bit. I didn't take his course, but I saw he had a free webinar type thing, and I looked at it. And he recommends Audacity. Now the ones that you can upload on for the distribution of your books is ACX, Faraway Voices, and there's one other, doesn't come to mind. I wasn't really intending on talking about that, but I'll look it up and add it below this video. And let's see what else. Oh, okay. I think that was it. I think that was it. All I had thought of. Those are the software that I like to use. And let's see. Oh, one tip that Derek mentioned was reading once you're done with your story and you think you're going to publish it, to read it out loud and record it while you're reading out loud. Therefore, you can kill two birds with one stone. You'll create your audiobook, and then you'll also maybe catch any mistakes in the story that your previous edits didn't pick. So that's everything I can think of until next time. If you'd like more of these videos, if you want to share anything that you've learned that's helped you, please comment. And if you would, like the video, subscribe so you can get notifications of my next video uploads. And until then, have an awesome time. And don't forget, until then, have an awesome day. If you'd like more of these videos, and you'd like to be notified, I gotta get this right. If you'd like to be notified of more videos, you'll have to hit the subscribe button and the notification, the little bell, so that you'll get notified the next time I upload a video. And until then, writers write, so get to it. Bye.